Hi FlossTube Stitchers. I want to start tonight's video by thanking everyone for the birthday wishes this past week. And I really enjoyed reading about your favorite birthday treat because like my nieces, most of you don't prefer cake either. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But I did get a little birthday surprise from my framer, Bonnie. And in the package was this little I keep calling it a scissor fob, but it's a zipper pull, but it could go on a pair of scissors, but I think it's going to go on my project bag that has my bee whips in it. So there are many uses for it, but I think I know what I'm going to do. And then she stitched this for me. She's putting me to shame. You know, we used to do birthday and Christmas regularly, and then, you know, we both got busy and we kind of got out of the habit, and now she's back in the habit again and she's putting me to shame. So this is called Queen Bee by Robin Pickens. It's one of the charts that came out after the Nashville market, and I don't even have it yet, but it's in my shopping cart now. She thought of me and purchased it elsewhere so as not to spoil the surprise. And she stitched it on Grace Notes Fabrics 32 count Lugana in the color Buttercup. And this was from Fabric Automatic that she was on. So anyway, oh, the color, sorry, I didn't mean to blow out the color. I just wanted you to see it better. But anyway, she's giving me the choice. Obviously, she will frame it for me, but she's been working on her sewing room. They've been doing some renovation at their house, and she decided that, you know, like me, she didn't want the craft room to be a catch-all anymore, and she wants to start sewing again and get back into some of her previous hobbies. So I'm going to look through my stash of bee-themed fabrics to see if there's anything suitable for this, and then we'll decide how we want to finish it. So, but it was just a really nice surprise. So, and then I think a few months ago, she gave me this model, but I decided to save it because it was out of season. It's still out of season a little bit, but close enough. This is Summer ABCs by Little House Needleworks, and I can't show you the, well, I guess I could show you the whole thing if I really yeah, there we go. I don't usually stand that far away from the camera. So at the time that she gave it to me, I forgot to ask her the fabric. I thought it kind of looked like antique ivory or something, but when I look close at it, it looks like there might be some slight variation to it. So it might be an overdye that she had gotten. And the frame is actually two frames. The brown and white are together, and then the green is a separate frame. And then I wanted to do a close-up because she is famous for adding bead accessorizing when it wasn't called for, and it always looks so great. She just loves doing beads. So I thought that was really sweet. So I thought I would show it since I was already talking about Bonnie. Okay, then I want to show you the new charts that I got from ICG Crafts this week, which is a print-to-order wholesale company. So a lot of smaller designers or foreign designers will use it because it's easier for them to get their patterns into needlework shops that way. And I called this video Flossabilities because that's what I wanted to focus on tonight. And it's a company that I found a number of weeks ago. I think it was after the new year, and I noticed when I was working up an order for ICG, this stood out right away, and I had even made a collage immediately, knowing that when I worked up a big enough order, I was going to get these. And I put the collage on Facebook and Instagram yesterday for my show and tell Saturday, so you may have seen that. But it's a lovely lady named Lauren who lives in the UK, and she is the cross stitcher. Her brother Sam is an artist, and for this particular pillow series, he was the one that came up with the concept and the drawings, and she is the one who worked it into cross stitch. And then their mom, Lynn, they call her Mama on the FlossTube, she stitched, I don't know if she stitched all the models, but she stitched some of the models. So it's a real family affair. And I did watch a few of their videos just to get a feel for them. And I will put a link. So if you go watch her and comment, let her know this is where you heard about her. I did see some of my customers and followers had made comments on some of her earlier videos. So I know people found her even before she was a designer. So her first four, I think, designs came out in November of 2023. And then they came out slowly after that, but she wasn't in the wholesale market yet. She was just on Etsy. And then when she got hooked up with the wholesale company, that's when other people started carrying it. So she's not new. She's been around for over a year, but she's new to the retail shops this year. So anyway, enough about that. But yeah, go watch her. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the charts that I got in the pillow series, kind of by season, and they're all $9. And if you use an over-dyed 5-yard skein of floss, you'll need 3 skeins. All right, so this is winter. I'll put them up as close as I can so you can see the motifs. And this is Valentine's. And spring, pay attention to that one because that's one of my whips. Easter. And summer. Nautical. And this is the one that Bonnie's starting with, and wait till you see her color combination. It's really going to be fun. And autumn. And Halloween. And Christmas. So for the giveaway this week for a US stitcher, tell me which one of those you would like to start stitching, and I'll send you the chart, and I will also send you a skein of color and cotton floss. Your choice of color, you can decide that later. Just let me know now which one you would start with. And I'm using color and cotton for mine, so I thought, well, I'll let you choose that. I just placed another order with them. Right now I have about 65 of their colors, and I think I'm getting, 2 dozen more. I can't remember how many I ordered, but all the new ones that were available to shops to order, I went ahead and ordered. So when I pick the winner, we can discuss then what color you're gonna get. All right, so anyway, she has another series of charts. So if you go to ICG Crafts and look up Flossabilities, or you go to her Etsy shop, also called the same thing, then you'll see the other designs as well, and I'll get those next time. I just wanted to start with this series. There's also an interview that she did with Yasmin's Made with Love, and I hope I remember to put the link there because I read that and it was really sweet. Yasmin's trying to do a featured designer of the month, and so Lauren was chosen a little while back, and she and Sam had filled out a questionnaire. So that was fun to read, how they came to do it and how much they enjoy working together and that sort of thing. Okay, I'll get to my whips in a minute. I did get 2 other companies that I wanted to focus on because I think they're underrated designers. You don't hear that much about them. Maybe they don't post as much on social media. Maybe they don't have a fan group. Maybe they're just quietly living their lives and this is a side hustle for them and they don't have time, to deal with social media. But anyway, the first one is Calico Confectionery, and her name is Marcy. And I've stitched a few of her things, but I want to do everything that she's done. And it's interesting how people don't know about this company, and a lot of shops don't carry it, and a lot of my customers, are seeing it for the first time here. So these are the newest ones I got. 1776 sampling. And some of these are computer generated pictures and some are actually stitched. So I love this. I want to do Of course, I want to do that one. You know, I love patriotic. And then American Heritage. Then, because it was the first time I was ordering this year, I got the Valentine ones too. Be My Valentine. Best Bunny Wishes. Cedar and Pine. Chicken Scratch. Hello Spring. Parade Sammy was the newest one on the list. Spring Baskets. Spring Chickens. Tulip Time. And We the People. Honestly, I want to stitch them all. I even want to stitch the Chicken Scratch because my brother and sister-in-law in Chicago have hens. I love all her things, and I just wanted to, you know, do a little special presentation of her newest things, and maybe this will be a new designer that you're discovering. The other company is Happiness is Heart Made, and her name is Christy. And I think, let's see, she has a cattails collection for the month. And I may have made a mistake here. I may have already sold the February one, otherwise, or the February one is called something different, but I think I might be out of the February. So, and I may have shown some of these to you before, but I couldn't remember, so I just got them all out. So that's the January one. And then I have this for February, but I think I'm wrong. I think there really was a February one. And March, April, and May. And then there's Cat in a Cozy Blue Sweater, a Cat in Cardinal Christmas, which is not the December one. When I first got it, I thought she wasn't naming them the month, but then I found out later, oh yeah, she just wasn't finished with the monthly series yet, so there will be a different one for December. Cat with Spring Tulips. You Belong to Meow. Spring Crow and Strawberry. And Autumn Crow and Pumpkin. And I can't remember if there's not 4 seasons or if the other 2 seasons are coming from a different distributor. I'm confused right now. I always have a couple distributor shopping carts going, and I play games with who I'm going to order from next. And she is available from Hoffman Distributing as well. So I can't remember if the other ones are coming from someplace else. So anyway, those were the new charts I got this week. And then for my whips, I finished the red stripes on Americana Sampler Flag by Jean Farish Needleworks. This was part of my freebie February. And the last time I showed you, I thought I was going to take out the beige that's doing the letters in the white stripes because I thought maybe it was too much of a contrast. And I'm having a hard time deciding. But I started working on another project, so I just set this aside. And I knew I wanted to look at it in broad daylight, maybe stitch a few more letters in different, like stitch one letter in a different color and see what it looks like before I take this one out. This might be okay, but I'm not sure. I just felt like it looked like a little too much of a contrast. And then this designer had given several ideas for how to make the letters stand out more if you wanted them to, One was to do the background in a half stitch and the letters in a full stitch. One was to do the background in a single strand and the letters in a double strand. And the other was to, change the color lighter or darker. So I did a little bit of both, but I tried doing a half stitch for the background and it barely showed up. I didn't like the way it looked at all. So I went ahead and just did the background all in a full cross. And then I think I did make the letters one shade darker because I'm only using one strand. And then for the white, I think I'm using a lighter color than the designer called for. You know how I am about white for snowmen and flags. I like it to be whiter. So, but I did do quite a bit of stitching. I think I worked 3 nights on this. So I finished the red stripes and then I filled in the stars on the blue field. So one more night we'll finish the rest of the alphabet letters as soon as I decide on the color. So then, I said Bonnie put me to shame because I never finished the Harvest Tiny Town I was doing for her last year for her birthday in August. And I thought, well, shame on me. I need to get it back out again. And, one of the reasons that I put it away is because it's all the little details that I'm stitching now. And so you're doing like 1 stitch of this and 2 stitches of that. And then you have to figure out where to connect your floss. And it's not an excuse. I'm just complaining. That's the part of stitching I don't like. So what I did was just work on some more of the details in the houses, like the window frames and the windows. And I just did some of that. So I need to keep this out and keep this going. So I really do finish this. First of all, it's not nice to not finish somebody's present, especially when they know they're getting it. And secondly, it could have been a shop model for almost a year now if I had gotten my act together. So I got that back out and we'll just deal with all those little detail work that I have to do. And then, of course, the day that my Flossabilities came, I had to start, and I had a little bit of difficulty deciding which season, which occasion I wanted to stitch for, because I do want to stitch them all. The nautical would probably have been the one that I wouldn't have chosen, but Bonnie's doing that. So I'll probably do all the rest of them. And I thought there would be so many possibilities for like the Halloween and Christmas that my mind was boggled. I just couldn't decide, which fabric direction I was going to go and what I wanted the thread color to be. And I thought the spring would be the easiest one because there's a few motifs having to do with bees. And I thought, let's just narrow this down to yellow and black. I did think about stitching the whole thing in yellow floss on a denim color fabric. And I told Bonnie yesterday I didn't want it to look like I was trying too hard to match my house. But I do have a lot of black and yellow already. It looks really nice in my dining room and in my kitchen. So I didn't have any trouble. So I looked at all the yellows that I had, and this is Weeks Dye Works, the non-Zweigart base, and it's 32 honeysuckle. And I had ordered it for a customer during COVID, and it took so long to come that she didn't need it by the time it came. So I still had this full yard with no cuts out of it. And I thought, well, I'll christen it by doing this, and maybe other people will enjoy the color as well. I didn't mean for that strand to be hanging across there the whole time. I need to move the hoop to continue that next motif, so I just left it hanging there. I was also surprised that I needed 2 strands on this. I almost thought that it was mismarked and that it was 30 instead of 32, because Weeks used to do a lot on 30 count. And if it were a Zweigart fabric with the orange line going through the selvage, I would have known it couldn't possibly be 30 because they've never done that count. But I measured it and it is 32, but it's a looser weave than Zweigart. And I started off doing, I started with that motif and I was working on the flower And I got a couple stitches in and I thought, I don't like the way this looks. It's not filling it in enough. And I don't think the 2 strands is too thick, especially since there's a lot of small designs and open space, and it's, you know, it's not like I'm stitching a whole big section all in one color. So I'm happy with the 2 strands. And the color and cotton floss that I'm using is rustic black. And I could have chosen any black from any company, but I had just ordered more rustic black, knowing that it was popular in certain designers' patterns right now. So I knew I had more coming, and it would be easy to sell to people if they wanted to do the same thing. Everybody should have multiple blacks in their arsenal, because we use black a lot for different holidays and themes. But anyway, I'm happy with that. I would say 1 motif a night, and there's 9. So if you had a little more time, you'd get more accomplished, but you could almost get it done in a week if you worked the same as I do. Probably about 3 hours a night is what I do. So anyway, that's my Flossabilities. And I can't remember if I said this already, but she named her design company Flossabilities because she was already using it for her FlossTube videos, and it kind of fit. And she picked that name originally because of all the possibilities that there are in our little creative endeavor world here of cross stitch. And so it's working out well as a brand name for her business as well. I can't remember if I said that. If I did, I'll have to cut that part out. So the winner of the $27 birthday gift certificate from the last video is Janet R. Cross Stitch. And I did comment on her comment, but I'd like to read to you what she said. My favorite is from my childhood. My grandmother would make me a banana cake with a white icing that hardened. She passed away years ago, so I haven't had it in a long time. Now, my favorite is red velvet cake. And then I wanted to read 2 other little paragraphs that people had written. Corey Wood reminded me, April 27th is my daughter's birthday too, so I will tell you what was her favorite birthday cake growing up. I would do a dirt cup type of thing with crushed Oreos, but do it in a bigger container and then poke suckers that I had made into flowers with construction paper petals into the cake. Her brother loved to dig out the gummy worms that we would put between the layers. And then Phyllis had a really sweet remark as well. My favorite dessert, I can't read my own handwriting. Dessert treat is a good chocolate chip cookie, but for my birthday, any baked good, even cake, which is my least favorite dessert, would be perfect as long as I could be sitting by my twin sister eating it. We live an 8-hour drive from each other, so we are seldom together to celebrate. We do have fun seeing who makes the first phone call to say happy birthday. So I thought that was really sweet. And then the results were like pie. Well, so there's three main categories that got the most votes, and pie won, all kinds of different types of pie. And then chocolate was next, and cheesecake was third. So I thought that was really interesting. And the chocolate things, actually, I might have put chocolate pie under pie and not under chocolate. So chocolate might have tied with pie. But it was very interesting that not even all the chocolate was cake like we normally think of for birthday. So here we're starting our kids off with birthday cake, and maybe they would prefer something else. So I thought that was a really interesting little survey, if you will. Well, this video was a little rough because the frog came a-calling, not to my stitching, but to my throat. You might have caught a few of them that I didn't edit out, but I did need to remove some coughing fits. And each time I restarted, I kind of forgot where I was. So I hope it made sense. I know it wasn't perfect, but I hope I told you everything you needed to know to enjoy some flossabilities in your future. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.